Hi, Brian. I gotta put a notice up. Give me a minute, okay? Hey, Odadum. Hey, is the sound and video are good? Oh, great. Hi, Lazard. How you doing? 1 second, guys. I gotta put a link up here. I forgot to do that. I've been sort of going a little more nuts than usual today. Hang on. Let's see what I do with it. Come on. How do I lose stuff on my computer? Here we go. All righty. Um, 1 second, guys. I'll be right there. Almost done. Hang on. Here we go. There we are, guys. I skipped a step. Serves me right. I have OD'd on watchwork, but it's been a lot of fun. So there. Um, hey, HRM. Hi, HP. Okie doke. With the unplanned watch talks, we can talk about anything we want to. Um, let, let me start off with one thing. The other day, I put up a video and I found a really good buy on what kind of watch was it? An Hermes Slim Day Hermes. So I put that on my video and say, hey, go to this place. They got the best deals. And I got a note from one of the guys who saw it. And he said, "Wait a minute, that place has got a reputation as being fraudulent." So I had to take it down, redo the whole thing, then put it back up. But the thing is that I I suppose I'm a little naive. I shouldn't be. Um, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck. And but I suppose there are some places that are pretty bad. S- some places have a really good reputation, and then they spoil it by doing something nasty. There's a really good, very well regarded, high horology, high end, very high end watch shop here in Connecticut, in a very expensive neighborhood. So these guys pulled one of the creepiest, crummiest things I've ever heard of, and I did hear about it. And I wouldn't buy a watch from them. I wouldn't buy a cloth from them. And so anyway, I thought we could. And then the other thing too, I've been looking at some stuff with Rolexes, trying to figure out what about trying to figure out Rolexes. Why would I get a Rolex? Which one would I get? And why do Rolex owners get all upset when people don't get one and they have one? I can't tell you how many people say, "Well, how come you don't get a Rolex?" I don't have anything against Rolex. I just have things for other kinds of watches. And so I thought, well, I'm going to do a video on that, and started having a good time. Oh boy. Oh, hiya, Goldfinger. Hi, Ilko. How you doing? HRM. The key is knowledge. Is to acknowledge your mistakes. No kidding. You better. Yeah, you find out you screwed something up and you turn around. The video came out at 10:30. Went to their site to check and got a feeling. I logged off and was going to do some digging in the morning. You'd already posted the new video. Yeah. Yeah. I tell you guys, if I ever put up a video and there's a place that I say, oh, this is what I found there, and it's no good, let me know right away. But that's one thing I think it's important for all of us to communicate. Hey, this guy, you got to be careful. This guy pulled this on one of the guys I know, and here's what he did. And, we shouldn't do that. I tell you, one of the funnier things was years ago, Federico, I was telling him, I want to go down to 47th Street in the Diamond District in New York. If you're ever in New York, you got to go down to 47th Street. You go down to Fifth Avenue and go up Fifth Avenue to 47th Street, turn toward 6th Avenue, what they call Avenue of Americas also. And then right in that block in there, there's like a king's ransom, not only in jewelry and diamonds, but also a lot of watch stores. Well, Federico said, don't go there, Bill. He said that place is, he said, you never know. So I go there anyway, and this guy's got a place. He said I had to text him or something. I said, I'll meet you there at a certain time. So I go in this building, go down to this basement, go in this little office, and I ended up buying 2 FP Journes from the guy. One of them, after I bought it, shot up significantly. The other one shot up astronomically. 2 best buys I've ever got in my life. Now, I'm not saying Federico was wrong to warn me about going there, but it's like, I don't know what it was. I also got one of the best deals I ever got from Federico, so everything works out. But, it's really funny. I think, I don't know. What do you guys think? My issue with Rolex is the price. So many other cool watches I could buy for the money. That's everybody's issue. I don't see an issue though in this respect because I never bought a Rolex. See, here's a Rolex. That's a nice watch. Here's a an Acme watch. I like it better, and it's the same or less price. So why should I buy a Rolex? That's the whole thing. I'm not a Rolex hater by a long shot. It's sort of like, well, I don't have one. I think the only excuse that you can have for certain sort of the fanatic Rolex owners, the only reason legitimately not to have one is you're in dire poverty, and that's it. So otherwise you should have one. Oh, hey JC, how you doing? You buy the seller, not the watches. Yeah, Franken watches are scary. Yeah, all of those are true. I think, if somebody is selling Franken watches and they tell you it's a Franken watch, I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. And if the price is Franken watch price. On the other hand, if they're selling it to you as, the real deal, the whole thing, then they're lying through their teeth. Some places, like I said, there's this one place here in Connecticut that has, some of the best watches you're going to find anywhere. And yet they had to pull something rotten on this one guy that I know. And it was, so I don't trust them. I don't like dealing with people I don't trust. Buying the seller, I think, is important. And, other people I know have bought multiple watches from the same dealer. They like the dealership and everything else. And so that's one of those things that you gotta sort of know about. Let me tell you, I think I probably told you this before, but here's what a dealer did, sort of not to me, but he was honest with me. It was a dealer in Beverly Hills, and we had set up a buy. I was going to buy it was an FP Journe Octa, okay? And so I thought it would be fun to have an automatic. So I was going to buy an Octa from the guy. So we set up. The guy gave me a good price, and so it was all set. And I just got a call from the guy, said, "Hey, gee, I'm sorry. One of my regular customers came and he wants that watch. I'm going to sell it to him." Now, what the guy did, he didn't make up some phony baloney story. He didn't do it. And then when I, went to get it, he said, "Oh, I don't have it anymore," or something like that. He was honest with me. I mean, and that's all I've ever wanted from a dealer. If I were a dealer and I had a regular customer and I want to do right by my regular customers, I'd probably do the same thing. Okay, I'd hate to do it. So yeah, okay. So I went out and ended up with that guy on 47th Street. Ended up with a residence watch for what now would be considered nothing, and we've been very happy with it. So that but then a couple of weeks later, the guy got back to me and said, "Hey, my customer decided he didn't want it after all. Do you still want it? And I'll give you the same deal." And I told him, "No, sorry, but I would go back to that dealer in a minute, not because." No, just because he told me the truth. That's all I ever wanted from a dealer. And when you talk about buying a seller, that's a seller I'd buy. Hey, Velvia, man, I was going to do some digging when I got a notification that you were live. Okay, was this the bottom of the hole you came to? Hey, Quan, how you doing, man? How are things in China today? JC, Rolex is kind of like a commodity. Yeah, any watch can be a commodity. I hate to, somebody's got a Rolex. And I say, I bought this Rolex because of this, this, and this, and this I like about the watch. That's, I think, what most of us do. I've got this Beauvais because of this and this and this and this. And I can tell you every reason I got it. But did I get it for an investment? No. So many say, "Oh, well, what's the resale value?" Who cares? I mean, we're paying a lot for watches, and if you're going to buy it, I'd buy it to keep it. If you buy it as art. Yeah, that's the same thing, JC, about they tell you art buyers. If you want to buy art, if you want to be an art collector, get ones you like. I found two Manets in Paris. They were signed prints. Okay, so they weren't terribly expensive, but they were signed, and I thought it was a big deal. So they had them printed and everything else. Those are in my living room now, and I like them. I like to look at them. I just look at this guy's, look at the lines that he did. That's fantastic. And the signature is sort of like, Joe Palooka's signature in one respect. But speaking of Rolex, in my experience, the best Chinese movements are those Rolex clones. Quan, I have some very good things to say about the clones of the 6498. This is a clone of a 6498. I was able to regulate it down to 1 second, and it's been, I sort of keep it right here. It's for my grandson, but I've got to wait till I see him to give it to him. But yeah, you can get some great, some great clones on those. How you doing, Joseph? Miguel, how are you? Abdul, glad you made it. HP, just got a Beauvais Sportster with the Zodiac numbers for 2.3K. Came from Japan and was not charged customs. Only bad thing is getting a strap for it. Oh, no. Yeah, I know. I'll tell you one thing you can do, HP. You can there's this guy that the rancher likes to use a lot in Canada. His name is Aaron, and the name of his watch store is Combat Watches. And for a decent price, you can get exactly the strap you want. Okay, does it have the bar lugs on the top and bottom? This is a bar lug down here, like this. If it does, yeah, you got to do that. And so the thing to do is just tell him this is what you want. He'll make it for you. The guy in Canada. Also, if you're near or in New York, You can go to uh, not Jerome, but Jean Rousseau. They're right off of 5th Avenue, I think up around 57th Street, or maybe 54, somewhere in there. But I had to have a special one made for a Bulgari, and they're not the bands they have on the Bulgari are a little tough. This I would imagine might be a little challenge too. I got this band um, I got the band from Beauvais to get an extra band. I think the band that came with it, and I still have it, is blue to go with the blue here. But that is one of the most difficult band changes. I even had to buy special tools just so I could take it apart. But it's worth it. I tell you, changing a band is not, it's about the easiest thing you're going to do as either a pretentious watchmaker like myself or just a guy who wants a new band. So yeah, HP, that Sportster's cool watch. It'll be fun. Hey, Glio. You're glad someone snatched it up? Is that before you could blow money on it? My wife is the only one that asked me about the resale value of my watches are. That's a difficult question to answer, I would think. When I've sold a couple watches and then I put them in what I call my watch account. And so those are a state secret. Okay. Miguel wants to know, what is my grail right now? God, I'll tell you, right now it's Lyrique number 2 and number 3. Those are my 2 grails. Hoping to get I may be able to get Lyrique number 2 by next week. I've gotten, there's sort of a level that I sort of set in my mind, and if a watch comes down to that level or near it within what I call hand grenade distance, excuse me, of that level, then it becomes sort of a realistic grail. Right now, though, I've got so many watches I want to wear every single day. I mean, if you've got 5 watches, then you want to wear every one of them every single day. Well, I got 20 that I want to wear every single day, and I can't. So I don't know. My grail level is down, and I've sold a few, and I got a couple more to sell, or at least this one I was going to sell. Changed my mind. I don't want to sell that watch. That's a cool watch. What was I thinking? Oh, I see. Was the seller closer? Yeah. I've had good luck with Closer. Closer? I don't know them. Bought an AP Ultra Slim from them. Great packaging, fast shipping, exactly as Closer is their name. Are they like an eBay shop or something? I think I've heard of them before. That's why I asked. Hi, Quan. I'm just curious, how's the Lyrique project going right now? Let me first knock on wood. Seems to be going pretty well. We have a charity, and our charity is the Horological Society of New York, and they have a gala on April 6th, which is just coming up in a few weeks. And we had promised them a watch, and the last thing that we were waiting for were the hands. we had to have at least one set of hands. And so we've been scrambling to get enough hands so we could get the watch for the Horological Society of New York's auction. And just today we got them. So we're just enough for that. I wish we had enough for everybody, along with cases and movements and so forth. But those are sort of in the pipeline, coming along. So I would say it's coming along great. The thing that's really great is at the end of it, the kind of watch we get is really fantastic. In a very near future, we'll be having a press release and a bunch of other stuff like that about it. Which watch did I pull back? The Metropolitan, the Daniel Roth Metropolitan 24 Cities. Let me tell you why I pulled it back. It's the only watch, not only that I have, there's probably other ones, but it's the only one I know of that has that time change. Is that you take a little pusher and it's got a W and an S, and to change to a standard time in the winter, you hit the little W and it falls back an hour, and then for the spring you hit the other little pusher and it goes forward. Plus, I always know what time it is in Bangkok. It reminds me. No, so I couldn't get rid of it. The other one, my other Daniel Roth, is the retrograde, and I love the retrograde they have. That thing is very unusual. But so's the Metropolitan. They're both, so I like them both. So I'm not going to get rid of either one of them. I was thinking in my mind what I was thinking about. I really want the Daniel Roth Papillon, but I don't know. That's what I really need to get. I need to get another Roger Dubuis. That's you're asking about a grail. It's not sort of a grail. It's sort of a slot that I have open. Closure is a big dealer from Japan. Japan market is famous. Oh, there's the phone. Hey, let me see if it's a spam person. Oh, hang on. Come on, wife, answer it. Ah, good. Magic. Hi, Mark. How you doing? The Daniel Ross is definitely very unique. The Archimedes. Boy, yeah, that thing is today Wednesday. Yeah, today at Bezel is the last day to bid on that. And I forgot what the bid was the last time I looked, but it was right around 5,000, maybe 5,000. I'm not sure what it'll end up, but today's the last day, and I'm sure some guys will be coming out of the woodwork to dump a bid on it. It's a nice watch. It's the interesting thing. It's sort of the Bulgari version of the Archimedes. I don't know. Okay, what else is going on, guys, in the watch world that we should definitely pay attention to? Let me think. All of a sudden, everybody stopped. Thanks what I got going. Oh, yeah. It's 6,900 right now. I'm not going to let someone steal it. Yeah, $6,900 isn't a steal. You know, are you putting a bid in on it, Brian? It's gold, so it is something. Let me tell you about another project that just started, and some of you guys may want to do it. I don't know. You have to be crazy, but that's okay. You're a watch collector. Yeah, you'll get your watch. It'll be a while before you get your watch, Mark, because we only got enough for a few, unfortunately. And so you'll get your watch soon enough, as soon as we can, if it stays reasonable. Yeah, I don't blame you. I can't blame you one bit. Anyway, let me tell you about another. This is a very economical one. I've never wanted a tourbillon. All right, never had a thing like that. Gotta have a tourbillon. But then I thought about, oh, it'd be fun to have a tourbillon, but I can't afford them because the tourbillons are crazy prices. And so I thought, well, I'll go to AliExpress and see what they got in terms of maybe a movement or something. We can make a project out of it. So I found a movement. I found a tourbillon movement for 114 bucks. So I ordered it. Then I ordered a case for it. I don't know if the case is the right size or not. I'll have to wait and see. But I ordered it together because just in case they did fit, then we could sort of start a project that seemed like a lot of fun. So I don't know. Has anybody? Do any of you have a tourbillon? Yeah, yeah. Jesus, I tell you, the tourbillon I'm getting wouldn't even pay the tax on that, Abdul. I you know, eh, there's so much evidence, and, eh, the purpose of a tourbillon was for pocket watches, and you have a pocket watch, and the gravity's pulling everything in one direction because the whole mechanism, the balance, the spring, and everything is sort of going north and south. And the gravity is just pulling everything down. And they figured, well, that'll mess things up. So the reason they put the tourbillon in is that to spin it around so that it'll be in all these different directions. But, wearing a watch, you do that anyway. And so they figured, well, with a wristwatch, it really isn't all that. Now, I don't know, since I don't own a tourbillon, I don't know whether how much truth there is to that. So anyway, hey Lazard, um, I have one made by Andrej Burkus. I don't know them. How do you like it? Goldfinger, you're waiting for one by Remy Cools. Oh man, that is a boy. His watches are really nice. He's one of these young guys. I think you sort of like who's going to replace F.P. Jorn and Kari Vutenmanen and all of the and guys like Daniel Roth and so forth. Remy Cools is one of them. I'll tell you, that's really a nice one. Yeah. Abdul, you're absolutely right. They're totally useless in this day. Well, in fact, come on, all of our watches are totally useless in this day and age. We use our iPhones to set these because we know they have the correct time, or a smartwatch to, you know. Yeah, no, that's a good point, Abdul. That's a perfect point. Yeah, Brian, what time is it over? Thanks, Lazar. A guy from the Czech Republic. Cool. There's somebody else. There was some other ones from the Czech Republic who are really good watchmakers. Let's have a very limited project watch with Remontois. I would love a Remontois. Hey, City Slicker. I've ordered and waiting for a Yima limited edition tourbillon French. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know the brand. It's 9,900 plus tax. It'll be interesting to see what it's like. It also tells you when the tide's in and out. Oh, how cool! You know, Tide Watch I looked at was won by Christian Vanderclaw. They had, oh Jesus, hang on. Good. My Siri thought I was talking to her. So, sorry about that. Um, the tides. That's a very interesting thing. It's fun to have information on. I can think of at least two people that'd be a nice, cool watch to have. Surfers, my old passion, and fishermen's. Another 33 minutes. Good luck. Go get them, Brian. Okay, the rest of you guys, if you're bidding on it, quit. An independent Chinese following some worth following with something interesting. Let me tell you about that. This is the HP. It's a good point. The AHCI had this one guy in there. Forgot his name. He's a Chinese watchmaker. Guy was just talent, just incredible talent. I think he kept having all these new movements. He could make a new movement on a lunch hour. That's why I got real impatient with these big companies that say, well, we have our own movements. In fact, all they are dusted off ETA or something. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Yeah, I think that's the guy, HP. Yeah, his thing. So I thought I'd go see, check out one of his watches, try to get a good deal. It was like $30,000. I the guy learned quick. Oh, you're living it up, lease time. Hey, let me ask you this. This is a sort of a hypothetical question. I've been trying to find reasons. I've been trying to find Rolexes. I have been finding Rolexes that I like, and I thought is the difference between liking a watch and really want to buy it versus just liking a watch because you like it. And I was getting curious about that. Was I thinking about? Yeah, I think that's who it was, Lazard. Waiting for breakfast. I understand. This is Ramadan. Hey, Lisa, what are you wearing? I am in my cheapy Casio. Okay. Yeah, happy breakfast. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. All right. Let's say that you don't own any Rolexes right now, or if you do, that's okay. Which one would you really want to have? And the ones I wanted, I know are unpopular, so I won't. Let me save mine for a bit. I'd love to have a Christian Vanderclaw Real Moon Tides. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's my problem with it, Andrew. It's one I'd really like. The Milgauss. Okay, great. HP. I'm glad you mentioned the Milgauss. What are they called? Well, I think they canceled it. I believe. I believe Rolex can't because all of the ones I like they cancel usually. I mean, that's a kiss of death. If I see something I like, they'll cancel it. But yeah, I like the Milgauss too. There's some kind of cage they put on. I forgot there's a name for it. But you know, the there was this is I think I found out why. One thing about Rolex owners, they always seem to be rattling off um, reference numbers. Now, what are all these reference numbers for? And that's because there were so many different versions of the same watch. So you got a Milgauss at time one, and then another, and so forth. Well, I found out that there was a what is it? Air King. The Air King I liked had the dial that was done on the Hound Dog or Bloodhound, on the Bloodhound, which was a land racer, SSC land racer that didn't make it. But you know something else about Rolex? Rolex, they always talk about the girl that put a Rolex around her neck and swam across the English Channel. Well, what they don't advertise is the fact that she really didn't quite make it. They had to fish her out near the finish line. But same thing with this Bloodhound racer. It was supposed to go, supposed to break the speed of sound or something. But the thing that's interesting about it is that they contracted Rolex to make the dials. And so they got this really cool dial that Rolex made. And they have the Mach where it hits Mach and so forth. And so, but then they put that on a couple versions of the Air King. And the latest Air King, I think they have it, I think they've got it just right. But one of the earlier Air Kings has the same movement as the Milgauss with the cage on it for a thousand Gauss watch. So that's sort of one I like because it's got a story behind it and everything else. I wouldn't know what I'd do with it though. I probably wouldn't wear it, so why get it? But I like to think about it. Cellini Prince, same here. Yachtmaster 2, those are two I like also. You know, I tell you, the Cellini Prince, I tell you something about that. They had a Horological Society of New York has these all-day weekend courses for watchmaking. And so I signed up for one and drove over to Manhasset in New York. And they had it at the London Jewelers. London Jewelers is really an amazing place. It's to give you an idea, the parking lot had a couple Rolls-Royce, what are they called? Not traces, but they're two-door car. I mean, it's really a cool place. Well, anyway, the guy from the Horological Society had on a Prince. And we got to talking about it. A Prince is really a very cool watch. I love the Princes. And the Yachtmaster, me too. Hi, Caesar. How you doing, man? The Yachtmaster 2, that's another one. The complaints that so many Rolex fans had were they didn't like the color. My God, there's a wonderful countdown mechanism in the Yachtmaster 2. I thought it'd be fun. I'd go out and get a little racing sail and go racing with it, get into a mini regatta for, there's something at my speed. I'd probably have to compete against beginning 10-year-olds or something. But I thought, gee, what a fun watch to have. I was having some work done. Well, it wasn't work. It was you have to have these not annual, every so often things. They take you in and they play Where's Waldo to find out if everything's all right, but they have to put you under. And so the anesthesiologist shows up and he's got this Yachtmaster 2 on. And so I said, wow, Yachtmaster 2. Well, you want to be on good terms with your anesthesiologist. Hey, David, Milgauss is the only Rolex I am interested in. I knew they would discontinue it. Yeah. You know what I like about it? What I do like about it, among other than the Faraday cage, I think is what they call it. I like the color, I mean, the color scheme instead of a blue and orange, some things like that. Any thoughts on Atelier Win? I'm seeing crazy amount of propaganda now. I don't know them. I don't know them. I don't know them at all. But it'd be fun to find out about them. Didn't Rolex, give away a Daytona because they were so unpopular, now they're an investment? The fact makes me uncomfortable. I don't there's such a big deal about a Daytona. At one time, they were really something, but I would rather have, without even thinking about it, to get a, H. Moser with a, Agengraph, movement in it. Now that I would like, one of their heritage style I don't know if they have a heritage or one of their, streamline. Get a streamline with that'd be great. I have a Rolex Explorer version 2. That was another one I liked, Brian, was a Rolex Explorer 2. Way back when I liked it, but then I realized I wouldn't get one. I got too many. I have 3 dual time zone watches and another one coming along that is in the beginning of the making stage right now. But I do like that Rolex Explorer too. Nice watch. Hi, Ilko. I feel Rolex is mostly just for prestige, therefore I wouldn't bother. You know, uh, I tell you, I'm not. This is the thing. I'm not for or against them. And I think a lot of Rolex fanatics feel that you either have to love them or you're a Rolex hater, and that's not true. There are a lot of people, I think, that just like it's another watch, and there are other watches I'd rather have. And they're good watches. Um, they're it's sort of a funny thing, but that doesn't mean I don't like Rolex. Of all of the ones right now that I say, okay, you can take any one of these. I'd have a hard time deciding. It'd probably be the Prince. Get a nice Prince. Sky Dweller's nice too. I agree. Yeah, that's another good one. I like the Air Key, even the 34 millimeter one. I like the bigger ones. I like 40. I like the 40 millimeter more than a 40. I think, do they have a 42 millimeter? I don't know. But yeah, I like the Air King. Air King is just a nice everyday watch. The Halliday, they have that, and the one I like is the one with a cage in it. Are you talking about Tourbillon? Lease time? Okay, the 41 millimeter DJ. I don't know what a date just. There are so many date justs that must be a popular model. Atelier Win is a Chinese watch, handmade guilloche dial, and an SL 1588 movement. Dan Peacock. I still, a guy that I do know, he's not from China. I think he's from Singapore. In fact, I'm pretty sure is Bin Shi. But I think he works he's got some really, I think he works with some Chinese artisans who do some of the enamel work for his watches. Really good stuff. Hey, David, can you buy two? You can buy 2 Picanet watches for the price of one Rolex. I got the feeling Rolex is price gouging. I was Rolex price gouging. Maybe I know that they sell some of them. They're allowed to sell at a premium, which I don't like. I think that's sort of cheating. But What are you going to do? Oh, okay. Ah, well, that's okay. I mean, if you like it, you'll like it. You know, the Explorer and the yacht. I can't understand what is the purpose of the Yacht Master without the regatta countdown. I mean, it's just another watch, but they call it a Yacht Master. I mean, what's the difference between a Yacht Master and uh, uh, one of their divers? I just a Submariner. What would be the difference? On the other hand, the Yacht Master 2 it's got a lot of stuff to it that's sort of cool. There I was actually looking at yachts, not yachts, but racing boats, racing sails. I think that'd be more fun. Head for the shore, and it comes with its own wheels. You can get one, tow it off, and I think my wife would tell me you're on your own. Yeah, it's like I said, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination a Rolex hater. It's just not one that I'm into, I guess. Um, and I think if you want to find the biggest Rolex haters, and correct me if I'm wrong, Caesar, they eat their own. Boy, I tell you, I've seen them go after some version of a Rolex they don't like. They don't like the Air King. They don't like the Yachtmaster 2. And that's mainly from Rolex owners, not from guys like me, who are not into the nuances of, you know, I don't know what it is. Maybe that it's also too, it seems to be a, you could tell, pickpocket that you're wearing an FP Journe and he'll pass you up for a Rolex any day. Hey, Junior, how you doing? Caesar, I gotta say, I have really warmed up to that. A lot of people didn't like the AP code 1159. I like it. I mean, I like some of them, and boy, green I really like. Green is my favorite color. When I got my what's that called? The Moritz Grossmann. I got the one with the green on it in the version H of their. They got the naming what was it called? The Autumn Pure version H. I wonder what the impure one is like. That sounds like the fun one. Rolex retail prices, in my view, are not unreasonable. It's the gray market prices on a few high demand modules that are crazy. Well, I'll tell you who's crazy, the people buying them for those prices. You're not going to get those high prices unless there's a demand for it. But like I said, there are so many other ones. Now, some of them are a little more expensive, I admit. I think I tell you one I like, a really nice one, really nice, and it's another Fabergé. I like my Fabergé Alexi, but there's a Fabergé. In fact, it was an award-winning one for a travel watch, and it is one of the coolest dual time watches I've ever seen. And of course, the module for it was made by Agenor, but it's what's it called? I forgot the name of it, but it's a DTZ watch by Fabergé, and I think they only have them in gold or something. But they're fairly expensive. But man, I tell you, I do like them, and of course they're fairly limited edition. Yeah, Brian, I think you're right, and that's why everybody has to know the reference number on them. I've got this has the I have no idea what the reference number is on my Beauvais. There's two types of Beauvais. I mean, I'll say big types. One type is the 19 there are 2 types of 1930. One's called the 1930 Fleurier, and that has a bow and crown, and then the other one is called the, 1930 Demier, and it has the traditional, lugs on it. That's it. But then they have, I guess, some gold and some other stuff models they make. Yeah, but anyway, like I said, there are some Rolexes that, you know, I wouldn't mind having, but I wouldn't not enough so that I would forego something else. City Slicker may be right. I don't know if you think the prices are okay. The prices really jumped after the pandemic, though. There was some. I thought the Air King was a great entry level for, for better horology. They used to be a tool watch and priced and affordable. Yeah, they're still a tool watch. Now they're unaffordable. They're an unaffordable tool watch. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Speaking of Pepsi or Coke, wait, no, Domino's Pizza. Oddly enough, that's one of the versions. I used to see those, a lot of them for sale, these Domino Pizza. I guess Domino managers, guys that they if they did something right, they'd get a Rolex and add Domino's Pizza on it. I thought, wow, that'd be a fun watch to have. And of course, some of the Rolex owners were shocked. The same is true when Patek Philippe first came out with their pilot watch, that big fat pilot watch they have. It was, I don't know if right now they call it a Calatrava pilot watch. Before, I'm not sure what it was, but a lot of uh, Patek Philippe owners just thought, no, we can't have that. That's not what we are. Well, now they put silicon in their hairspring, so I don't care what they do. Hey, Lazard. No need to buy a Rolex in the secondary market when you can buy a JLC Brigade. Yeah, that's pretty much my view too, Lazard. The only problem with the new Roger de Buy is if they're all skeletonized, man. I wish they could just have a few that sort of look like the, some of the more readable Roger de Buys they had. Chopard's getting a lot of great deals. Same thing with Parmesan. Here I am. Parmigiani Fleurier. Blancpain. I think Blancpain, though, they got swatched. And by being swatched, they stuck a cheapo movement in it. That's what I mean by swatch. That's a shame too, because they're a nice. Same thing with Breguet. The Breguets, though, this is a watch. Early on, I was asking about Grail. Not a bad Grail for me, not for everybody else. In fact, nobody should want one of these. And this is one that was done by Daniel Roth when he was with Breguet, when it was owned by the Chaumet brothers, before they tried to corner the diamond market and went belly up. But he made some Breguets at that time, during that period, that really brought back the brand. Before the Chaumet brothers took over and hired guys like Daniel Roth, and also Michel Parmigiani did a little work there too. All Breguet had were those the marine versions, and that was it. They didn't have anything that looked like something that Abraham Louis Breguet would recognize. But then they had I don't wish that Swatch had just why does Swatch have to monkey with them? You know? The auction ends in 10 minutes. It's up to 7,700 with two guys going at it. I'm out. Smart move, Brian. That's what that's about auctions I don't like. The thing about the bezel auction I do like is there's no buyer premium. That is a very cool thing. That's the only, I mean, most of the auctions that I know about are like the buyer premium is pretty high. There's David, I agree with you on that. I wish they hadn't done that. I mean, they could have some people really like that style, I guess. I don't know how they stay in business because their watches are not cheap. They all have a Geneva seal. I mean, they're really quality watches, and the price tag on them is very high quality watch. But they have some, some of the ones, some of the old sympathies with the coming up on the ends and things like that. I don't know. Ebel 1911 is a brigade for under 2K. That's a good point. Yeah, they're very. I don't know. You get Michel Parmigiani. The his designs, the movements are great, but a lot of people just didn't like their designs with the big horn lugs. Thing about horn lugs is that they're super comfortable. I mean, they had a lot of watches, and so the new guy went in and sort of made so they looked like a Parmigiani, but there was nothing offensive about them. That was I guess the guy from, where did he come from? Gucci or someplace like that? Yeah. Oh, that's right, Brian. That's right. Usually it's the other way around. I don't mind selling uh, through auctions at like Sotheby's and Christie's and Phillips. But boy, buying through them. Whew. Okay. Well, I sort of prattled on long enough. Got the sort of watch talk out of me. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming. I'm sorry I screwed it up at the beginning. But yeah, what the heck? It's unplanned. Anyway, everyone take care and we'll see you on Saturday.